Hello there. Today we're going to look at Kryptonite by Three Doors Down. I like this song because we used to play it in our high school band, and frankly I've forgotten how much of a banger it still is. I also really like the instrumentation in the song and how it was arranged and mixed. It's very reminiscent of the early 2000s rock style. The chords that we'll need for this song are a B minor chord, which is probably the hardest one, a G chord, and an A sus2 chord. You'll also need an E minor chord, and you'll need to be able to do power chords as well. It's not essential, but sometimes they might use a bar chord version of the A chord and the G chord later on in the song. But if you can't do that, the regular open chords sound just fine. The main riff of the song starts off on the B minor chord, and you just play through each of the notes, staying on the D at the top for a crotchet rather than a quaver. Then you come back down, and the last note is going to be the open G string. So that would sound like. Then we go to the G chord and play the low four notes, change to the A sus2 chord. That repeats a few times, except on the last time, rather than playing the A sus2 like we normally would, we just do the low A note and then come back through the open strings. There's a strum part that happens in the verses as well, so that starts off on the B minor chord, and that is going to be 1 E and a 2 E and a. So that is down, down, up, down, up. That would sound like 1 E and a 2 E and a, 1 E and a 2 E and a, 1 E and a 2 E and a, 1 E and a 2 E and a. The chorus of the song is where the fun starts to happen. We get to flip our guitar amp onto the distortion channel and break out these power chords. Make sure that you're using plenty of palm muting to control the strings when you're playing this part. The rhythm for the chorus is basically 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. So that would be down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. So the chords start off on the B minor, change to the G, to the A, just like the verses, back to the B minor. This is where it changes. We go to the E minor, to the F sharp for half a beat. Then we have this cool turnaround starting on the D, to the C sharp, to the A. That would sound like back into the B minor. G, A, B minor. Then we just sustain the E and the F sharp, then into the strum pattern from earlier. The second verse is just a little bit different to the first verse. It starts to mirror the chords of the chorus, so the initial riff will be the same. But this is where it changes to the E minor. Then the F sharp with just the F sharp and the bass, and then open strings. And the verse does that progression twice before going back into the chorus. This song has a couple of guitar solos which are dead easy to play. The rhythms are a little bit funny, but once you hear it, you'll be able to play it. So it starts on the B, goes up to the C sharp, to the D, then it does a little. So that first bar would sound like. Then in the next bar it goes up to the E, comes down to the D, C, D, C, A. So that would be the first 2 bars of the solo for your reference. Then in the next bar, the rhythm gets a little bit odd. So that's flipping between the B and the A. I'll play it one more time slowly. Then the next bar, we're up on the D and the E. And palm muting 16ths. Switching down to the C sharp and the D. Then on the last time you do C sharp, A, and then it literally repeats the same thing. Finishing on the B. Fuck, was this the whole time making these binging noises? The second guitar solo is more or less identical to the first guitar solo, except on the second time through its repeat, on the second bar, it does rather than. So just one more time, we go all the way up to the F sharp, E, D, C sharp, D, A. In context, that would sound like. In the bridge, the chords change just slightly. So we start on the B minor, and we come down to this A bar chord, to the G, only just sustaining them for the whole bar and then half bar, half bar. Then we go to the B minor again, and we change the voicing slightly. It goes to the open A, to the G bar chord. Then it does that again. I think the next bit goes a bit like this, but it's really hard to hear what's going on because there's a lot happening in the mix. So it starts off on this B minor 7-ish sort of chord. So it starts with the top half of the B minor, then we go to an open G. Then you're going to need to put your finger back down again to play the F sharp on the high E, then the D, then take them off again to play the open G, F sharp, open E string, then F sharp, D, open E string, G, D, A, B. The first 2 bars would sound a bit like. Then the second time it happens, starts the same way. Then it goes to the C sharp, A, G, then G, D, A, B. That would sound like. Then it repeats the first one again. Then into the last chorus. If you found this video useful, consider subscribing to keep up to date with the latest releases. There's also a backlog of other videos which you could check out as well. If you wanted to see some videos of myself performing, there should be a link somewhere around my head.